Now that we've seen some basic GET requests and subsequent responses, let's check out how to send data with an HTTP request. So far, we've simply made requests to view certain resources, and these requests haven't required us to supply additional data related to the actual resource requested. Even more, we have yet to send a POST request, which is used to modify the resource requested according to the data included in the request body. Let's take a peek at both of those scenarios now. In the first scenario, we'll consider using a GET request to supply additional data related to the resource we're requesting. Let's continue using http-bin.org for our examples. In a GET request, you can pass data to the server via the URI in the request line. Let me show you an example. I will telnet to http-bin.org using port 80, and I will make a GET request to the resource name /get. And let me throw some data in here and explain to you in a moment what I am doing. Let me hit enter twice. Great. Scroll up to my initial request. Now, in this example, I'm requesting the resource at /get, passing a first name and a language in the form of a query string. A query string is simply a sequence of name-value pairs where the names and values are separated by an equal sign here and here, and the pairs are separated by ampersands. So we have one ampersand between the two name-value pairs. When using a query string in a URI, you start it with a single question mark. When I make this request, I can see that the server was able to read the data I passed and use it to put together a response. If I scroll down, I see there is the first name that I passed and there is the language that I passed. In this case, HTTP-bin gave me a response in JSON format. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation and is a widely used data format used frequently in web applications because, well, JavaScript can directly read the data. This kind of data transmission in a GET request only helps the server put together an accurate response. It should not actually change anything on the server related to the resource. I can demonstrate this again by making a new request. Let me clear my screen. I'll telnet to http-bin.org at port 80. And let me pass it some different data. /get is the resource that I'm requesting, and I'll pass it a company and a city. HTTP version 1.1, and the host is again http-bin.org. And there I see the company that I sent in the request as well as the city that I sent in the request. One other thing worth pointing out here is the content length header in the response. Whenever there is data in a response body, a content length header will be present, indicating the length or the size of the response in bytes. What this means in our case is that the size of the response body is 217 bytes. Using GET requests to send data is often used in a web form to search a website. You can simulate this in your browser by typing things like stackoverflow.com/search?q equals HTTP or google.com/maps?q equals Chicago. Those Q parameters in the query string are passed in a GET request to Stack Overflow and Google Maps respectively. The resulting pages show the results of your search. The key here is that in a GET request, additional data related to your requested resource is passed as a query string in the URI.